Okay, Jess, you're up. If you have anything that you want to add to the.
Can I cede to Michelle so she can get off first?
Absolutely, Michelle, I'm sorry, I should do that every month.
That's okay. I will give a quick update on Shine. We are doing well. We're training our new class of Shine counselors. There are 8 new volunteers that are going to join us, including a few Needham residents. We just had our all counselor meeting this morning. Dan was there, so Dan's been working all day. We saw you there at 9 o'clock this morning, Dan. You're still there. Current counselors are he'll go home eventually, I think. Current counselors are all doing well. And we did hear, I know when I spoke to you all a few months ago, we were concerned about the federal budget and how it was going to impact the Shine program. Because in the initial draft budget, they did not include federal funding for our program. But in the most recent budget that came out about 10 to 14 days ago, they did include funding for our Shine program for fiscal year 26 under Health and Human Services. So that's great news. We were sort of prepared for a budget fight, but they decided to include full funding for our program. So that means we live another year. So that was really, really very good news. So we're doing well. Any questions for me?
Michelle, I have a question. The funding is for the entire year?
Yeah, so it gets a little complicated because the federal fiscal year is different than the state fiscal year. So, but my understanding is that the funding, I've heard 2 things. I've heard it's good through March of next year and it's good through June of next year. I gotta get some clarification from the state on exactly when we need to be concerned for our next fight. But it's at least March or June that we're good through.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Great, thank you. Have a good meeting.
I don't have really much beyond what's in the board report. We did finally pretty much down to the dollar spend the MCOA grant for transportation and just signed the contract this week to start with the MassDOT grant for transportation. To keep going for medical transportation. We got some leads on some interns for the fall. We're pretty tight right now in our department. We've just been short. People have had a lot going on. So I'm hoping that will help. So that's why our numbers are a little lower this month. We also redid the budget to stay a SNAP partner for another year. We'll see what happens with that program, but I think it's a good partnership. So if they'll have us, we'll stick with them. But other than that, it's really kind of business as usual in our department. So Sue and I have a beautiful PowerPoint to show you all at some point about our tablet program once I get my act together. But it's been a huge success. So thank you, Sue, for your your tech skills too are top notch.
So maybe September.
Yeah.
Okay, great. And Aisha's not on, you said, right?
No, she couldn't make it. Yeah.
Okay, has anybody got any questions on any of the programming information?
Oh, I had a question. So we're picking up, and I couldn't remember what it was, but we're picking up people from Wingate and North Hill. We were not doing it before. Is that because they are private facilities?
That's because they have their own bus.
I think we've fill in gaps as needed, but generally we don't.
I don't think it's a daily.
Yeah, it's not like a regular.
Because they do have their own transportation
Yeah.
as far as having a bus, if that's.
Yeah, I know someone who drives for Wingate.
Yeah,
He takes people to appointments.
Yeah.
right. We do too.
No, but look at who that is. Not anyone in this room. How's that?
Right,
Related.
Related.
right.
Yeah.
Okay. I was just trying to go over and make sure there was.
But I
Nothing.
just ask a question while you're looking.
Sure.
It involves Springwell lunch and traveling meals, lunch and meet 'em. They're two different programs. How do, the Springwell, those are the people that come up here, but you also deliver food to their home if they have,
Mhm.
okay. What's the traveling meals? How do they distinguish if you're gonna be under Springwell or under traveling meals?
There's a gray area, but traveling meals, you have to be homebound.
They have to be
And it can be any
Board of
age.
Health.
Yeah,
You don't have, with us, you have to be a certain age.
Okay,
But with traveling meals, it can be any age. You could be in your teens, and if you can't, well, you wouldn't be in your teens living alone probably, but say, you know,
40.
something, yeah. And for some reason you can't get out, then that's traveling meals kicks in as far as.
do they ever talk to each other?
oh, all the time, yeah, cause there is a subsect of the population, if you're getting services through Springwell can pay the fee for traveling meals. In which case, that person can't receive our meals, cause it's kind of double dipping.
Yeah.
But if they're paying privately for traveling meals, anyone who's over 60 and Needham can get meals through Springwell through us. Springwell gives us the meals to serve here, and as a courtesy, we deliver them out, so they kind of bill them as congregate meals, and then we've continued delivering them since COVID.
So you all know what's going on.
Yeah, people flop back and forth between the programs. We feel like ours addresses more of like a food security issue, whereas traveling meals is more of like a health-based program that can be more specific to people's health needs. There's a well check component. We're really trying to get people who either can't afford the food or can't get to the grocery store or just need like one extra meal.
But if you get your meal here, you only get one meal. Traveling meals, don't they get a lunch in?
They get a lunch and a
And a
dinner.
dinner.
Yeah, so if you have more needs, traveling meals is a better fit.
Probably better.
But there are people who, don't get Springwell services and would have to pay for traveling meals, and sometimes that can be a barrier. So sometimes they'll opt for us if they can't pay or don't wanna pay, or, there's lots of reasons, I guess, but.
And
Yeah,
Jess, how many meals are we delivering a day? I happened to be here at noon today, and there were only like 15 people actually eating here.
we deliver way more than we serve here. Yeah, I would say Stefan would know, but I would say in the 50s probably. Yeah, it's been as high as 100 and it goes up and down, but yeah.
I know we have more than one driver, I mean.
Yeah.
The different days that they deliver and stuff. So.
Yeah, and people come on and off our program, like it's a pretty simple process, so it definitely, it goes down this time of year for sure.
So while we're talking about transportation for just 1 second, I just wanted to bring up the fact that, we had put on a later bus van. And Aisha had some concerns that, it wasn't being as used as often as we had hoped. I want to talk to Stefan about it because, I don't know if it's the fact that they have to let them know 48 hours ahead of time. I think that's a long time to know whether you want to go,
Yeah.
Yeah.
really. I mean, you get up in the morning and maybe, so I want to talk to him about that because it took us a while to get a late bus. A later bus, or a later van, I should say, and I really don't want that to disappear. So I'm going to have a meeting with him and see what his thoughts are and how we continue that. And how it's affecting the drivers. Is that something that's a concern that we have to stagger the drivers in order to accomplish that? So anyway, I just wanted to keep you updated on that.
Because if you have to let them know 48 hours, and if you're up here one day, you see that there's a nice program going on.
Tomorrow,
Yeah.
right, exactly, or even
This
today,
afternoon.
and they want to stay,
Even if there was something this afternoon, they
Right.
might do. Yeah.
right? Yeah,
that shouldn't be
I
that
didn't-
restricted.
huh?
I don't think that should. be that
Exactly.
restricted.
I was under the impression when we put it in the works that it was every day. I mean, I thought that's what the idea was, that there would be a late bus every day.
Yeah,
So
you
that's
go
why I want to see if it's affecting the drivers, are we missing out on a run? You know, in the morning, I just, so, I will find that out over the summer and figure out what's going on there. Is there any other questions on the Tanya's report? Okay. I'm gonna just flip my report here. So could we have a motion to accept the minutes of May 8th?
I'll make a motion to accept.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion, admission, correction? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Thank you. And before some of you came in, we talked about the fact that, come next September, that we would continue having the meetings on the second Thursday of the month at 5 o'clock. Does that work for everybody else?
Yes.
Excellent.
And the other thing, sorry. The other thing, I will need a 3-person, well, 2 besides myself, committee for the summer.
We know we never meet. But
I know, but hey, it's a blessing that we don't have
Right.
to, right? So, okay, all right, thank you,
Pauline Penny and
yes.
Kristen Harry down, I apologize.
You never know, just in case.
Didn't have, you did.
Exactly, and then I'd have to call everybody up or do something along those lines. So, the big discussion today is our program series and payments. I have had phone calls, I have had emails, I have had face-to-face combat issues. On the fact that we have asked for a 2 months series payment. And I know in some cases, people have stopped coming. I'm not sure at this point that it's as large as it was when we first put it into effect. One of the things I talked to Latanya about the other day was, should we be doing this, asking for payment monthly rather than a 2-month period? What the logistics will do to the people who have to take in this money. I just feel we were losing a lot of money. It was affecting us financially. We had to do something about it. There were numerous people that were taking Zoom programs and not paying. So I established now, if you haven't paid, you don't get the Zoom link. So, if somebody calls and says, I didn't get the link, she looks it up. If they haven't paid, she explains that, the reason why. It's one way, but that's the Zoom. What we need, well, the concern is the people who come in, and are very upset about having to pay for 2 months, because how do they know next month if they're gonna miss a session? And we're not offering credit for sessions. There isn't one of the reasons why did I give everybody one of these?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah. So this was a friend of mine who goes to the Wellesley, just happened to bring me the Wellesley book. And on the very inside cover, they list their policies, which I think is great, and I don't know if we can fit them in, but
Poor
I
Jen.
sure as heck would like to. And one of the things says, these policies are subject to revision. Oh, that's not what I want. What am I looking for? Oh, under the program specific funding policy, it says no refund for exercise classes unless the class is canceled by the instructor. I found out that that's true in Natick. And somebody told me one other place, so, it may not be true across the board. But
But if it's not, what do they do? How do they handle it?
that's their policy.
No, but if it's not true, what do they do to, if people?
Oh,
don't
if
pay?
it's other, if there's other,
Yeah.
senior centers that, you know, like, I don't know, Newton or, you know, Timbuktu or something.
You know, their idea.
I mean, it's something that we need to investigate. But, this business of paying the $5 is just killing us per class. And I noticed one of the things, in the Wellesley book is that actually says when they start the classes. Let me see if I can find it, which I think they're making a mistake, but that's just my opinion. No, that we don't want to adopt. Somewhere it says, $5 per class. Even though they, again, do monthly.
They're making it sound like you can pay.
It's exactly,
class.
and we're doing the same thing. We are doing the exact same thing, which says to people, they can come in and join a class today and pay $5 and everything is hunky-dory. Now, you know, we had the policy of upfront payment for the sessions, which covered 2 months prior to COVID. And then COVID came and we gave everything away for free. And at that time, I think it was $8 a class. When we
We
came
went-
back,
we
we
went
brought it
down
down
to
to
five, yeah.
$5 per
Mhm.
class. But my concern is that we have to establish a policy as to how we want to collect this. And I know, Dan, if we had credit cards, it might be easier, but, you know, I mean.
It's another year. We
It's
were
like-
promised in September, and then they said in May, and nothing's happened.
It's like banging your head against the wall. It really is. It's frustrating. I don't know why it can't be done. You know, if it's our system, then maybe we should invest in a new system,
We just did, didn't we?
you know,
Just did recently.
We had a year of MyRec, it didn't work for a huge chunk of our program, so we would have been navigating between three systems if we had that.
You know, it's
Yeah.
more than credit cards, it's all IT, there's no IT help for the senior center.
This-
So when the,
there's no help for the seniors.
No.
so when the
There's no. IT help.
payment for the classes started, they didn't have, for example, they had no way to reach some of the participants. So I brought up the point, all these people get Aisha's daily highlights. Well, that's a town generated email. There should be some consolidated email system for the senior center that has all the participants. And that IT would have to take care of that, and that doesn't exist.
It's an email.
Huh?
It's an email list.
Right.
It's.
Yeah, they could just come back, you know, you
And
just
how do
need,
you-
yeah,
how
just
do you
some
pick that up?
technical
It's-
stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's what highlights is though, if I'm understanding you right, like that's how we would email everyone. The problem is we can't just,
No,
Email.
the problem, my problem is
Yeah.
that you should be able to access everybody who's on that list,
It can.
yeah,
not, well, I don't know. If they had a separate list for, let's say, the biggest class is the Monday exercise class.
Oh, well, we can pull through my senior center.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and they're different areas, and there should be a way that all the names and addresses could be combined.
So her highlights are not sent out from here, they're sent out from,
it's through the town's program, like if you go on the notify me, that's
Yeah.
how but we can't just put people on there without them like agreeing to it, they have to click a link to confirm.
Yeah.
Whereas my senior center, if we have their email, we can email them,
No,
but it's
that,
clunky, and maybe
I
that's
found
what,
that out.
yeah.
It's-
yeah.
Seems to me, I don't see anything wrong with saying you have to pay once a month. 2 months out of it is pushing it. But once. a
That
month.
seems, the problem seems to be the 2 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't, you know,
Wait a month.
Come on.
so if they change the policy that they pay monthly, hopefully, you know, something like that would work.
Well, they should have an option if people wanna pay
That's,
Right,
2 months of,
okay.
Like
you know, because it's easier for the people here, the longer people pay.
Yeah, they'll have to do the once.
Then were you saying like divide sessions into 1 month sessions, like
yeah, no, not necess, yes,
like maybe session 1 and session 2, because the
Right.
compass is bi-monthly.
yes.
And then even say maybe, you know, if we don't get enough people to sign up
Yeah,
for that second month, that we might not have the force, just maybe put pressure on to do 2 months.
So, and I hate
You know what I mean?
copying Wellesley, I don't know why.
Marshfield has that.
that's
But
on,
looking
that's
for-
on record, Colin.
That's all right.
Let it be known.
Anyway, the point is, one of the things they do is, and we have a lot more classes than they do, so that, that can be said.
class?
Yeah, yeah.
We do too.
Oh, absolutely.
We have more class.
I didn't say that, and that's on record.
Yeah, it's about.
The connection's breaking up.
Well, I have a question. My question would be, when you have a Zoom participant, how do you get the money from them?
By check.
By
Or
check, so
they-
it's on an honor system that they should be sending the money in by check.
Yes, to receive it.
But now they don't, when they go onto the Zoom class, if they haven't paid, they don't get the link.
I got it.
They will call and say, something's wrong, I can't get on, I can't get the link. And then either Aisha or somebody in her, you know, department will say, you haven't paid and we can't send you the link until you have.
So that they
Sure.
can't,
Well, that's a pretty manual system also, it
Yeah.
should be.
so they can't sign up
Once
for that
people
day's class.
pay,
then.
they should automatically get the link, but
Oh, Lord, yeah.
But they do.
Oh, look what's coming.
no, Aisha sends out the link separately.
Oh, yes, she's gonna be our favorite lady of the evening.
Look at that, holy moly.
Oh.
Where's the state tips and the?
They're down as you go down, they're down,
Yeah.
waiting.
That's too funny.
Anyway, Latanya, we're talking about a change to payment policy and just to keep you up to date as to where we are. So, I mean, I don't know how long, I don't know the logistics of doing that way, but I really feel that people would be a little more comfortable if they only had to pay for a monthly class,
Mhm.
you know,
I
and
think
Latanya and I
that's-
talked
that's
about
right.
this rather than 2 months, so. But there isn't, you know, the park and rec, there's no refund. You know, you pay for the whole thing up front. Adult education, you pay for the whole thing up front. If you miss the class, tough luck. You know,
Right, that's just
Yeah,
town,
I-
just say it's town policy, and leave it at that, take off the pressure from us, that's town policy.
yeah, so if we could do that, it would be nice,
Okay, so you make it a month, no refunds,
right?
period.
Unless the teacher
instructor.
can,
Unless the
instructor
class is
cancels.
canceled. And at this, what this one says is the exercise class, but we can do that across, I would assume, across the
Mhm.
board.
Any program.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If the class gets canceled by the instructor, do you apply that class to the next month?
it goes into like a credit for
Right.
them,
Okay,
yeah,
right, so then they
yeah,
don't pay 3 weeks. For the next month,
If they're paying.
yeah.
yeah, right, assuming that,
Yeah.
Which exercise class are you talking about?
Annie,
Any,
Annie.
Haven't been there.
any.
Not the fitness. Right?
No.
No, the fitness room is
If I
a.
pay once a month, if I don't go 1 week, well, so.
Right.
It's like
So
going to the
in
Y.
summer, I go-
Hey,
But you
don't
can
go.
go every day for, what you know,
Exactly,
for
right.
you know, for
Like
the
a gym.
entire month,
It's a gym.
so.
That's
Could we ever get in Venmo?
Right.
Wish.
It's like the VFW, we like set up different one, you know, we can go
Yeah.
directly to the bank account.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can't,
I
we
would.
can't talk all at
Yeah.
once, cause. All right,
My question was, are the people who attend the classes that you were speaking,
the fitness
fitness
center,
class, are they paying bills higher percentage than those who are in other classes? That's
are
all
you
I ask.
talking about fitness classes or the fitness center?
I guess whatever you were talking about.
Well, the fitness room, they take attendance every day that they're there and they check,
And they check to
Against
see whether
those,
it's paid,
make sure everybody's paid.
right,
Okay, so that's having
if they're
a
there,
better
they can come out.
There's no problem in the fitness center.
Okay, so why don't you?
So-
investigate?
so part of the problem is not apparently, and I may be wrong in this. Not every instructor likes having to check to see if whoever's walking in the room to take their class has paid or not.
That's correct.
There's my-
That's especially true of the Zoom instructors.
Yeah, but like-
Because they're not seeing all the participants.
But we've solved that problem by not giving them a link.
Yeah.
Correct,
Yeah,
correct,
Right.
correct.
So that's done. So now the problem is the physical. Presence of someone in a class. That hasn't paid. And how we handle that.
So they don't wanna say to them.
Well, they,
I know, do you kick them out if they haven't paid?
I think some instructors do, but I don't know. See that, yeah.
They don't make you leave the fitness room if you haven't paid yet, but when you do pay, it's retroactive.
So they catch you up.
Yeah.
And that's fine, that's fair.
You know, Park and Rec, you register for, they have very few classes. The registration starts at 9 in the morning and by 9:10, the classes are filled. You pay for the 8 weeks, and if you don't go a week,
Kids.
you don't go.
Well, that's what I was saying, you
Right.
know, it's other,
Right.
you know. But just for instance, and I hate to. Bring this up, but let's go back to the credit card for a minute. The PTCs can use credit cards.
Right, my wife signs up, takes classes at Park and Rec and pays.
The PTCs,
Oh, okay.
that's what I'm saying. I mean, the schools allow
Yeah,
their PTCs to use credit cards. I don't understand why we can't.
But what are they using?
Whatever, if they're, you know, they're.
Probably a tablet, an Apple tablet.
No, they'll take Visa.
The cabs do that, because,
Right, but the point is,
yeah.
There's
Probably
they're
it's
still
friends
allowed,
of.
you know, they have the ability at
To use a credit.
at that level to use a credit card.
Yeah.
And we don't.
Well,
But are they considered,
yeah, but I,
I think they're nonprofit though.
I feel like they're probably a separate,
They're a
like Friends
separate
of,
organization,
What
yeah.
does it matter?
Well, they're
Well, 'cause
considered
they're-
a nonprofit, they're not considered municipality.
they're not part of the town, they're like the
They have
Friends
a-
of. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Park and Rec, yeah.
So for the Friends of, get,
Yeah.
So Park and Rec uses a different software. They're using, My Rec.
mm,
And we're using my senior center because My Rec won't allow doesn't have the software for our social service to be able to put their data, keep notes. So it was easier for us to be able to use what we have, but add the credit card component. For that piece, we have to have approval from the town to see if it's definitely secure. That's one of the things they talked about. And just implementing it, and we've had 2 meetings, if I'm right, and we're waiting on the 3rd meeting to add accounting in and Dave in just to see, so.
I don't know.
I met with Tim today and I told him that we need to really implement this and see if we can get it.
See,
done.
Latanya's really been trying on that. Just gotta make sure. Just.
What are you thinking in terms of credit card use? How do you think you're gonna use it?
So we would use it just like people could use it online. I think it's a
Okay.
component, they could come here and use it, but I think that's the part the town has to approve. Will we be able to have something tangible here and people can swipe with it, so.
Here, it's just, I mean, you could use an iPad.
Right.
We got a few left.
Funny.
But I think you should just go with the 1 month policy, sign up, no refunds unless the class is canceled, period.
Amen.
Does anybody have a problem with that?
Yeah, but what about the people that are live? Does that solve that as well?
What about people what?
That are live in the room?
That are in the room.
Oh,
I'll make that a month.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, cause it's hard for the instructors to say no, that's the problem.
yeah, well, that's what we were
Yeah.
saying, what do they do?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It happens to somebody.
They just attach it to the next month's.
Ed's gonna make a motion, can we, and Faith will have to hear it, so can we just?
Okay, I move that we charge everybody for courses on a monthly basis. There's no refunds unless the class is canceled by the instructor.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any question? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yeah, just a question. You have to get the buy-in from the instructors so they understand. I mean,
That, they'll be instructed that that's
that's
right.
I would just have the newest compass, like, just was already printed, it's already out, so to implement it would be, it would be the fall.
So this is, yes.
For the fall.
July and August
The next
is
is
printed,
September, October?
yeah,
For September 2000.
yeah.
Yes.
I would just remind the instructors that they can always tell those who are needy and can't come up with it, because we want to encourage exercise and fitness, what their option is, which is to.
Yeah,
Scholarship.
right, yeah. Thank you, Ann, yeah.
So the only addition to that, and it's not really an addition to the motion, would be to make sure that all the instructors know that this is our policy. So that, you know, if they cancel a class, they have to make sure everybody knows that it's being done by them. But let Tanya and I'll work on where we go from here on that, and I should. Okay, but Tanya, do you have anything you want to add to anything that's on the agenda?
No, I just, what I put in my newsletter about Lobby Day was, very well attended by the NCO directors, because that's what they asked us to do. Advocacy is what we signed up to do, so there'll be more opportunities to do that, collectively, and we're just chugging along, so, yeah.
Okay, Ed?
Oh, I'm on early, huh? I've got a few items here. Typically, one, I wanted to just comment on the poppy drives that we did in May at both supermarkets. Successful. Unfortunately, our World War II VFW member, he lives in Natick. He's 101 years old. He didn't make it this year. He wasn't really feeling up to par. So we missed the fellow because when he sits there, it seems more people talk to that guy than they do to anybody else. So he wasn't, maybe next year he'd come. Memorial Day event, various locations in the town, went very well. Weather was cooperative. Great attendance. Exchange Club, again, with the coffee and donuts. Very much appreciated because it turns out that it gets to be a long day because we started about 8:15 at the police station. So by the time noontime comes, that donut and coffee tastes good.
Well, we don't have a lot of leftovers, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, it makes the service provided very well, taken up. and it's appreciated at all the events. The other one, we had our annual VFW past commander and post officer, VFW post officer installation. That was done June 5th, happens every year. Good attendance on that, and special thanks to Kate Roby for the decorations as usual, makes the event a lot more patriotic. The other one I wanted to mention was July 4th. We're gonna have the parade again in town. I assume it's gonna happen like always. And we basically, the VFW members, a few of them walk with the flags. Some of us use the low bed truck that's provided by somebody in the town that has a landscaping business, and we hook up a trailer to that as well. I haven't found out yet. I asked the question a couple of times. Our new state rep, he's obviously a member of the VFW, whether he will sit in the vehicle and wave to everybody, most likely, like Denise Garlick used.
He'll have a private car.
Yeah, like he does, like
Yeah.
Denise did, yeah,
Yeah.
so, I guess that will be the case there. The other thing that I wanted to pass along, and it's something that took place in the state. I'm not looking, for this, I'm not looking to toot my own horn. It's more so for the state and Needham, but, on May 22nd of this year, they had the first Military Appreciation Day, the first annual one done at the State House. And I received an email early part of May. At first I thought it was a scam, but then when they didn't ask for any money, and it came from the State House, I decided to respond. And what it was is our newly elected state rep nominated me to be one of the people at the State House for this event. And so at the State House, what they did is kind of a picture here you can see where they had about 134 people picked from all around the state by state representatives, state senators, and they all sent somebody from different towns. I was the only guy that was.
I'm just gonna go
Didn't
check on
sound
that.
good.
Sounds like a tough day.
Okay.
Control.
Yeah. I think it's okay. Yeah, they're on it.
So
Yeah.
I was the only one picked from Needham, from the district by the House Representative. What they did is they went through about 134 people that were listed on the program, called out every individual, okay? And the person got up until all the people were up, then everybody got the recognition in the passing. At the same time, I think our veterans, our representative from the state called me down to the podium to take a picture and hold the citation. I think he probably wanted to make sure that he's shown that he's there. So I haven't seen this picture on the web anywhere used exactly, but yeah, okay. And the other interesting thing was that the one that they gave, which is pictured in the photograph, is this one here, which is about 8.5 by 11, just like the ones you used to receive when you were in high school.
Yeah.
Okay, 8.5 by 11.
Not skating.
The interesting part was that about 2-3 days ago, I had an envelope outside my doorway. And I didn't know what it was, but it was a citation. This time, this one is from the Senate.
Actually, some.
Yes.
But the other one was from the House of Representatives, this one was from the Senate. And you can see the Senate didn't want to be outdone because twice the size and it's colorful. So,
Great.
so needless to say, that was a pretty good event, and it got Needham on the roster there. It was good after that. They took us all down, took a big picture on the staircase,
Yeah.
and then into the Hall of Flags for a luncheon.
Oh,
And it seems as though they're gonna be looking to do this, and the governor did her thing there, the speeches all took place. the governor evidently, they're gonna be looking to do this yearly.
That's
Nice.
wonderful.
Great.
So that's good. So they'll be picking different people from the different towns through all the state. Going there, you know,
Nice.
take part of that, which I think is pretty good,
Nice.
recognition for the folks in the towns, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. The bottom line, that's about it. The other thing that I was doing, when I mentioned it last month, I have a lot on my plate. I'm still trying to catch up, but I'm looking to turn around and submit something again to the Needham Select Board, this time to all three, because I'm making good contacts. We had good results so far with our Veterans Tax Work-Off Program. That got accepted, but what I understand is the Select Board on the later meetings is gonna have to decide whether they eliminate the income and asset requirement for the veteran. That'll come later, whatever. But I'm gonna look to be putting something together relative to the exemption for veterans, 10% or more service-connected disability. Other towns have done this. I've got a couple of examples I will be sending in on the Community Preservation Act that's on your real estate tax bill. So I will be looking to put that together and send each one of them. I was told that when they get something, they share it, but I send it to each one to make sure. So that's the last thing. I mentioned it last time, but I'm gonna still look to follow through. Maybe when September comes, I'll be able to say, yeah, they got it and they recognized it, you know? And maybe it'll make a meeting at some point in time, you know, town meeting.
Yeah,
Relative to that.
chances are it'll have to be voted on by town meeting.
Yes, yeah, well, like the other one, we discussed it, we had some people come here to discuss, it did get on a town meeting.
Yeah,
They did vote on it. Maybe this one, who knows what'll happen, but it's worth a shot. Yeah,
right.
thank you.
Yes. Beverly, friends?
Sure, just a couple of things. If you haven't been out on the deck, you need to go out on the deck and look at the new tables that we have, thanks to Colleen and the Exchange Club. And
I just ordered them, I didn't pay for them.
so anyway, it's a great addition. Much appreciated. Thank you. Thank you.
A lot of people use the deck.
Well, depending on the weather, and I think as summer now is here in another week or two, I think more people will be going on. As long as it's not too hot.
It's gonna be really fun.
Windy.
But just as an aside, that, you know, we're still looking into some type of awning. But we're waiting for somebody from the DPW to come and go out on the deck with us and talk to us about what we can do, what we can use there. I would say it's been at least, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 months since we've asked for an appointment and haven't done it yet, so. Anyway, nothing there, sorry.
And
Somebody says, it's on a tough day.
There's no refund on the visit.
Well,
Very good. Ted.
Hold on.
no, sorry, continue.
Right.
The boutique volunteers meet with Jess periodically, every other month. Just to make sure that everything is running smoothly. And if you have the opportunity to go into the boutique, it looks much neater. And there's a small group of friends who are trying to clean up things that are broken, that are damaged, that are soiled, or whatever the case may be. So it really is looking much better, and I think more inviting. So that's a good thing. And I'm just repeating myself about events coming up. So the ice cream social, and now this should be on your calendars, is August 14th. And that's gonna be at 1 o'clock. And not only is it gonna be an ice cream social, it's gonna be a dance party.
Well.
So we're kind of moving up.
Yeah.
The dancers are taking.
Put that on your calendar. And then, as you already know, the CAF open house is on September 5th. So
Yeah.
friends will be part of that, talking to the participants and letting them know what we do and maybe inviting them to join. Last
They're trying, they're trying to wrap up. Yeah.
Okay.
And our last event will be September 12th. That's on a Friday. And Friends is gonna have their annual meeting.
No, it's a Thursday. Oh, you're right.
Oh,
I'm on the wrong deal. You're right. You're right.
Okay, the 12th.
Right.
And it should be on.
It is Friday.
Yeah, and we're going to have strawberry cake and a gathering of volunteers, thanking people for all their work. So, and you're all invited to it.
What time?
It's at, let's see, 1:30. And that's pretty much it.
Okay, great. Is there anything else? from anyone? Old business, new business? I'm sorry. Oh, thank you. I skipped it. Did we do something?
We did that, we did that.
Sorry, I was sleeping.
Out of order. Right,
I was
we
sleeping.
did it out of order, but I,
Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you.
So I think it was, so I was on the Zoom meeting, large house
Oh, yeah.
committee. So I have a pretty strong opinion that that's an anti-senior thing if they restrict the size of the house. But that may be an issue for another day.
They're well aware of that.
Yeah.
The Zoom people were not too concerned about.
Dan, in what way? The value?
Well, so I think seniors, so the average median income in Eden in 2023 was $213,000. The people that own these houses, those are mainly elderly people who are looking for other housing, and the most they can get for their house, the better. Is my theory, because the cost of housing wherever they go is so expensive.
I think that's true, you know, I mean. There, there's two houses for sale, well, one's sold and there's another one for sale, and I think they have a buyer, but I don't know if it's gone through yet. Small houses on my circle, one of them has gone to a builder, the one next door to me.
I see, it's down as I look up when I go by.
Yeah, I have to say though, the guy has already built a house on Avon Circle and he's done a beautiful job. It's not one of these. Unbelievable. And then the lot next to me is not huge by any means, so it's not gonna be atrocious. But apparently, the house on the other side of the circle, the buyer that's interested in it is a couple who's got a large house and is older and downsizing. And they talked about, you know, doing some renovations and it was so wonderful to hear that another house isn't gonna be torn down. Because if I continue around the circle, there's one that's being built with 6 bedrooms and 6 bathrooms. And it's on the market for 3.2.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous. So,
I guess it is
and no
22,000
yard,
for one.
absolutely, the
So they don't-
entire yard, I don't think is as big as the square.
You see young kids playing
And then they
out
plan it
there.
No.
so the kids play.
They want to take care of it.
Right.
I get that.
Well,
Having-
yeah.
Just cutting my bushes is great, just
Right, so, anyway. I think we adjourned, did we adjourn the meeting? No, yeah. Anyway. Thank you, is there a second? Yes. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. See you in September.
Wow.